Okay, I am putting this together for you so you can quickly see how to use the referencing capability in Word. Some of you have not learned how to do this, so I'm going to give you a quick demonstration. As you can see here, I clicked on the reference section, or the references toolbar up at the top, and right over here I'm choosing Chicago. You can choose different forms, but what I want is for you to use the Chicago style. And what I'm going to do, first of all, is show you how to handle a quote. So if you're going to quote somebody in a sentence or in a paragraph, you're going to place that within quotation marks, as you see here. Following the quotation marks, you're then going to click on Insert Citation. And depending on what kind of source you got this from, you'll choose from this list. So if it was a lecture from my class, you would use interview. Normally it would be from an article in a journal, and you would choose that. You then click on Edit. We would put in Thomas and David and Chandler. Okay. And then the title, this might be from, let's say, an article entitled Learning How to Cite a Source. And you normally make this in upper lowercase, the title. And let's say it's in the Writer's Journal. It came out in 2020, and it's on page 35. Okay, so now you put that together, you click on OK, and that will put the citation in there for you, properly done. What's interesting is if you later come back and say, I'd like this to be done in APA, it will change the format to match that style. So we could use MLA, it reformats it for that, go back to Chicago, and it reformats it for Chicago. Okay, now, what if you have a very long quote? If you have a very long quote, then what you do is you make it its own paragraph. So in that case, what you would do is you would take this same paragraph here, let's say you want to put that in the middle of your document, and what you do is you don't put quotes on it. Instead, you italicize it, take the quotes off, leave the citation on. Okay, but the citation should not be in italics. Okay, so it should look like that. And then that would be all by itself. Normally what you should do is change the margins and move it in a ½ inch on either side, so it sits in from the rest of your document, and I normally don't put a tab at the beginning of it. So once that's over, you then continue to type on with your article. So those are two different ways that you can cite. Now, what if you want to remove some words from the quote? And so it turns out that there was a whole other sentence in there that you didn't want to include because you're only interested in that part of it. Well, in that case then, if you said, if you're going to add and you didn't want to have the word direct, then you can simply put ... like this, and that says there's more there, but I don't want to have it confuse you. And it might be a whole sentence or whatever. What if you wanted to add something to the quote? What if the quote began with something awkward from the middle of a sentence and began with the words, then you are required to put the quote within quotation marks? Then I would put the quote beginning there, okay? Or actually, no, I would put this whole thing here in square brackets, like this. And that means that I added that. The square brackets means the author of this paper added that to the quote. And so you could have a situation like that, and this might have dot, dot, dot here, meaning there was more information in the quote. So those are the different ways that you have to format quotations in your paper. Now, once you've done this and you've put this citation in there correctly, then at the end of your paper, you come back to the references section, and you go over here to where it says bibliography, and you pick whichever style you want. Let's say works cited, and it will put those citations at the end of your paper properly formatted, and then you should probably get rid of that letter on the front of that, but that will then take care of your bibliography. Now, if you later on go back and you add additional citations, then you're going to have to come over here to the very end and click on this and choose Update, so that it adds the new citations to that part of the paper. Oh, one more thing that might be useful to you. If you don't like the way this looks, you can click on this, edit the citation. You can take off the author's name, take the title off. You could put a page number if you wanted to, page 3. And then what you can do is type it the way you want it to look right here at the beginning and say, David Thomas. So you can customize it however you want by putting that like that.